Now let's discuss the policies for the release and deployment process. Release and deployment management policies should be in place to help the organization achieve the correct balance between cost, service stability, and agility. Release and deployment management policies should help release and deployment management personnel to make decisions that support the overall objectives of the business. These policies can be set at an overall service provider level. For example, all changes and releases must be fully tested under a realistic load before they are deployed. Or, for an individual service, for example, all changes to the service will be packaged into annual releases. And the only permitted changes between these releases will be to resolve problems that have a major impact on the business. In the next, let us look at release unit and its identification. A release unit describes the portion of a service or IT infrastructure that is normally released together according to the organization's release policy. The unit may vary depending on the type, types, or items of service asset or service component such as software and hardware. The general aim is to decide the most appropriate release unit level for each service asset or component. An organization may, for example, decide that the release unit for business-critical applications is the complete application in order to ensure that testing is comprehensive. The same organization may decide that a more appropriate release unit for a website is at the page level. The following factors should be taken into account when deciding the appropriate level for release units. The ease and amount of change necessary to release and deploy a release unit. The amount of resources and time needed to build, test, distribute, and implement a release unit. The complexity of interfaces between the proposed unit and the rest of the services and IT infrastructure. The storage available in the build, test, distribution, and live environment. Releases should be uniquely identified according to a scheme defined in the release policy. The release identification should include a reference to the CIs that it represents and a version number that will often have 2 or 3 parts. For example, emergency fix releases, payroll system version 1.1.1,